Hello, everybody. I'm Arun Balasubramanian. I'm Managing Director for ServiceNow India. And I'm very delighted to be talking to Mr. Raju, who's the Chairman and Managing Director for Sify Technologies. Raju, thank you for taking time to talk to me today. And it's so wonderful to have you on this fireside chat. I just wanted to first start with some opening remarks and comments, the areas and priorities that you have and what you're focused on.
Thank you, Arun. It's a pleasure to be with you. And we seeing India as digital transformation. So how Sify is going to participate in the digital transformation of India? So we are investing in the data centers, we are investing networking, and we are investing cloud platform, we are investing on digital services. So over the last 3 years, we invested more than 1,000 crores, and we are in the process of investing 1,000 crores. And we see a substantial growth as the government of India said to be a digital transformation, and we are going to take the opportunity to make it India more digital, and which will benefit not just only enterprises and the common man. And that is the way we're looking at, that is the way we see the future of our investments and our growth.
That's wonderful to hear. My question to you is, India recently has unfortunately, like many other countries, has been hit by deadly second wave of coronavirus. It has hit the reeling economy. As a business leader, how do you think the economies will play out at a national level in coming months? And what should leaders like specifically are focused on and watchful on, or you're keeping your fingers on?
So I think the world has to be prepared this kind of pandemics. I think world has learned going through this pandemics. I think we cannot avoid it. So after the first wave, I thought India is going to recover fast, and I was expecting 15 to 20% growth. I was very happy looking at January, February month, how India bite the bullet and went over the thing. Unfortunately, India has to caught up with the second wave. What is the lesson we learned? And how do we overcome this? And every lockdown is a major disaster for economy. I don't think anybody wants to have a lockdown. That is going to be a setback of our economy. Hope India will be vaccinated faster, and India will follow the rules. What is there until such kind of thing. Always I believe India is a very resilient country, and we will overcome and these situations and will become stronger. My biggest concern is immediate inflation. So one is the fuel prices going up, and then we have basic things like a cement, steel, and those are the things we need to get under the control. Otherwise, it's going to slow down our economy. Our basic things, construction is going to slow down. Hopefully, this is, I hope this is a temporary scenario. It's not a long term. And if we can overcome that, I think India will catch up all the things what we lost in the last, 12, 14 months. Hope that, India will overcome and show it to the world how India can come back, from this situation.
Absolutely. That's all the hope. We are able to bounce back stronger and even better compared to where we were. So very well said. I just wanted to hear your thoughts. There's no doubt that Indian technology firms have really adopted to the adage by Clive Humby, which is we talk about data being the new oil. So most companies have recently reported a surge in their profits and margins. In your opinion, is this growth really sustainable? And if yes, how do Indian IT companies play a more crucial role in the world stage?
A very good question. See, this is, we have, the way I look at it is information technology is always a tool. It is going to be evolved, and it's going to be exist as long as this universe exists. Indian IT companies play a major role to make the world information technology. So what I see is we are in the third generation of that wave. When the first Y2K problem came, Indian IT companies did. Then we did, participated in the business operation processes. Now we are participating in the business intelligence. As long as these companies will keep up with the technologies and transformation, I think these companies, no doubt, these profits and their growth is sustainable. IT is like that. IT is when the economy grow or when you want to cut down, both ways IT will be required. Only the thing, your question is how they play crucial role. See, currently Indian IT service companies, in my mind, it's more still time and material. It's a service-oriented mindset instead of a product and IP mindset. I want these IT, and I wish these IT companies or even new IT companies, the startups, can come with the new innovations and come up with the products, technologies. For example, your company, ServiceNow, right? I always think why ServiceNow didn't come from India when we have such a great services companies from India. Any one of our big IT companies could have invented ServiceNow. That is the way I look at it. How Indian companies can change IT. And second is, I look at it. It's not just only IT. We need to build 3-4 more verticals of industries for India to grow globally. Biotechnology, healthcare industry, pharma did a major growth, but there is a lot more going on with the nanoscience technologies, right? Making equipment, making the tools, making computer science, all the intelligence people are building for a healthcare industry. I think India can lead on that. And manufacturing, there is a substantial amount is pending. Once the domestic consumption is going to grow, that will clean up our processes and we can able to produce these things to compete with quality. For example, I was looking at, buying a bicycle in this pandemic, and I have to wait 6 weeks to obtain, and the US market of bicycles went 20 to 25%, 6 billion to 8 billion. Then I was looking where is these things are coming from. I felt, bad when I didn't see anything coming from India. Why we didn't grab that market and opportunity? That's what India has to grow beyond, just IT services companies. That is my hope.
That's pretty amazing. And since you touched upon ServiceNow, I must say a lot of ServiceNow comes out of India. We take a lot of pride in the innovation that we do out of the country, the great minds that we have and the people we have in Asia's largest engineering center that we have in India. So we take a lot of pride with that. But yes, to your point, I think it's all about innovation and making that difference with innovation. So thank you for those thoughts. Pandemic has shifted a lot of things. Our thought process in terms of how we are working. Earlier, we used to have a lot of people coming to work. Now things have changed. You see a lot of people now working from home and companies promoting that. Companies promoting new thought process around workplace for the future, where they're looking at, how do we address the workforce which is going to come in future. So what's your thoughts on those lines? Do you think this is really going to help productivity, or it could be operational and a business concern for leaders like you?
Whatever reason, during this pandemic, most of the organizations learned how to work from home, and they put it a processes working from home. So, like for example, Sify, right? We put a lot of processes to work from home because ours is a majority of the infrastructure having to run our network. We have one of the biggest network in the country, and we have biggest data centers in the country. Having both these infrastructures are very crucial. If you look at most of the banks, most of the insurance companies, depending upon our network and our data centers and our cloud platform. So we adapted this hybrid model, work from home and work from the office. Being said that, every organization put in place this kind of infrastructure in place to work from home, work from the office. I think going organization forward, people is going to adapt hybrid model because you already put the infrastructure. See, because this, I know pandemic is a bad thing to the world, but there are certain things, good things we learn. Technology point of view, I look at India forwarded probably about 5 years because working from home, learning the processes, we are always blaming traffic. Now my company survived without people coming to the office and serving to the customers. And we looked at the SLAs, we looked at the quality of the services, everything. My team executed very well. And we put a processes to how do you work from home and how do we answer the customers. And my team worked restlessly when we needed, even during the lockout times, being we are one of the mission critical enterprise, and we used to get the permissions and we are sustaining this. And what I saw, and it's also helped us how do we accustomed for this process. And we looked at is, I was, last 1 year we made probably 20 to 30% productivity improvement and cost savings. And also we developed during this process next 20 to 30% growth roadmap and adapting this hybrid model. So in this hybrid model, what I see, where you need a creation, teamwork is very important, or a customer facing interface. You cannot avoid, people meeting and, having a workplace. Where you look at the operations, where you can work remotely, effectively, with the current tools developed, virtualization. All these things can be work from home and avoid those traffics, and people can be more productive and healthy. And it also saves the cost to the company. We don't need to expand our office space. We can expand on the technology and the tools instead of the office space. That is where, the savings can be invested somewhere else to grow the organization and to be more productive. That's where I look at it. This is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Happen. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I believe that it's all about creating the experiences. I think going forward, as you talked about the hybrid model that's going to exist, we still have to figure out ways how we could create a great employee experience, irrespective of where he is located across the globe and where he's coming in from. It's all about creating experiences, and digital is going to play a massive role in creating those experiences.
But yes, so the way when you're saying a digital transformation, it's not just only I was talking about India 5 years advance. I think it's a bad thing this thing happened, COVID, but overall how we are working globally, being India is one of the greatest IT outsourcing. How do we adapt these processes to service the globally? So today the cloud computing and having a better data centers, better network. So what we see the trend, having Sify having 4,000 enterprise and 8,000 SME customers, we see more and more people adopting digital transformation. Instead of having their own server rooms, they're going to go more into the data centers as we are going into more into the cloud. Again, there is hybrid models. People call hybrid cloud, where you can take hyperscalers, like you look at Amazon, Google, Microsoft, or Oracle, or IBM, and hyperscalers, where you are getting the scale of the world, and then private cloud, where you want to have the data close to your chest, or where you want to some regulations ideas. So creating a hybrid model and putting an automation around the package and having a great network. So having the network, having the cloud, having the data centers, having digital transformation services, people talking about beyond virtualization, now they're talking about Kubernetes, microservices, right? And I think India is going to take a lead in these new technologies. And me coming from Bay Area, I'm living in this country for almost more than 35 years. I did myself 3 startups, and I went through 3 generations of technology. I started with the semiconductor technology, designing chips, then designing systems for the internet, Now we are going through the social media, right? So when I looked at it 15 years back when I acquired Sify, India was lagging technologically by substantially. But now I look at it, India is not anymore lagging. But India has to keep the momentum to go forward. My dream at someday, India is going to lead. My dream, because the domestic, see, it's not just international consumption. We need to serve the domestic consumption, and we have to make our enterprises more productive, more agile, more intelligent, right, to compete globally. That's what makes India to the next level.
No, again, very well said. And thanks to entrepreneurs like you who are actually making that shift from follow to lead. So nice to hear that. But India has always been a little complex market from regulatory point of view, and not necessarily bad or good. But there are been swing regulations that we see in the country. And let's say as India is coming to age in terms of technology regulations, how do you think this will impact the industry?
See, regulations exist for a reason, right? But if India has to compete globally and India has to develop its enterprise domestically, it's going to change the regulations as we are learning from other countries. And we have smart leaders. And you've seen since our industrialization started early 90s, India changed so many processes, policies, adapting to new things, right? You cannot ask the change everything in one day. We are coming from a legacy, and we have 1.4 billion people, and we need it. Regulations is always a balancing act. People sitting on one side, they think that country did, this country did, but India, has to follow certain things. Regulations, in my mind, is a balancing act. And if you look at it, from 90s, early 90s, and industrialization started, previous government changed a lot of the policies, and the current government changing the policies, and the future government will change the policies. I don't have any doubt. I think it's going to happen. Second is, that is just for domestic consumption. Then you look at the foreign investments. There is no other country best destination for any foreign investments. I meet a lot of foreign investors in investing, private equity funds. Everybody wants to invest in India, and government continuously creating a great platform. Again, it's a balancing. You cannot do one side or other. It has to balance. And being a democratic country, and how do you, reforms you have to bring. And India is going to be the best foreign investments for next 30 years. As India is growing, and until we reach a saturation, what I see is next 30 years, India is going to continuously growing. I think people will be smart enough to invest in India. Only our policymakers has to create great opportunities for the foreign investments, which creates more jobs and brings India more forward and keep the momentum rest of the world. That's the way I look at regulations. I think it's a balancing act.
Right. With that, I know we are about time. Raju, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and insights. It's been absolute pleasure talking to you. And I'm sure the words of wisdom that you've spoken here is definitely not only going to help me as a person from the industry, but also all our peers who are going to be listening to this. So thank you once again, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you again. Thanks, Raju. Thank you. Bye now.